Good afternoon or good morning, Search Committee. My name is Evelyn Blanch-Payne, and I want to express my appreciation to you inviting me for this video interview. There are 8 questions, and I'm going to try to address all 8 in the time frame that you have appointed me. The first question says, what factors led to your decision to apply for this position at Clayton State University? My desire has been to be with your institution for a long time, perhaps over 9 years. I enjoy the fact and appreciate the fact of your vision and your mission, your departmental mission and your university mission, and that is to educate a diverse population. And I really appreciate that. This world is a global world, and we're dealing with students that are from all over the world, not only from the United States, from all over the world. And I enjoy the input, the engaging of a variety of students, in particular students that are underrepresented. And I understand. Number one factor is here again is your mission statement, is to educate a diverse population. Also, I understand that over 70% of your students go to graduate school. That is another one of my passion, or my goals in life, is to help pivot students to gravitate toward the graduate programs and not to be satisfied or settled with just a bachelor's degree in psychology. Another factor that has gravitated to me toward applying for this position and to seeking to be a part of your institution, and that is the hands-on experience that you require students to do through internships. And perhaps I call it sometimes service learning. I like that idea of students having hand-on experience in the educational arena. It gives them the opportunity to realize what they can do and their contribution as we engage students in this professoriate. Another reason that I have desired to become a part of your faculty is the fact that you have a good ratio, a student-faculty ratio, 21 to 1. I like that. I like being able to know students, that you're not a number to me, that I know your first name, that I can engage you, not only in the classroom, but as we engage each other outside of the classroom. I can call your name and know your name as we pass through the hallway. I like that, and I understand you have approximately 7,000 plus students attending the institution, and I like that. I like the fact that number 2 or 3 or 4 perhaps, that you have a safe campus and a quiet campus. It is situated in the Atlanta area, but it is a safe campus. I understand there's a low crime ratio. It's a quiet campus. I like that atmosphere, that culture. And another factor that I can appreciate with your institution is that you have every one of the classrooms are already equipped with multimedia. There's no classroom without multimedia. And for the most part, I understand the students have their laptops or tablets, and they bring it to the classroom. I do appreciate that. Also, one of my pet peeves about your institution and want to become a part of your department is that it has been rated over and over again, I think in the last 6 years, according to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, as the top workplace to work in the surrounding area of Atlanta. That is very complimentary. And then there's another private interest that I have, and that is I understand, I can appreciate your U-Care, and that's the program that you have that faculty members can mentor students. And my passion, my forever passion, is to mentor students in research, helping them to come up with their own research paradigm, helping them to devise their own hypothesis or speculation, and to recruit and solicit participants, and to take their proposal and instrument before the IRB board. That is one of my passion, and that is to help students conduct their own research. And another passion that I have is not only to conduct their own research, but you perhaps have noticed this in my credentials in my portfolio. I have a main emphasis, a main desire, a main goal, and it's to help students not only to conduct their research, but to take students to conferences. And as you can see from my portfolio that I have here recently, the last SEPA conference had 3 students to present. And before that, I think 2 students, and before that, 6 students. I've even had a student to go to the APA and to present, one of my graduate students to present a paper. And that is my ultimate goal, is to help students to conduct their research. I love teaching research methods. And I noticed you asked one of the questions, what is one of the courses you enjoy teaching? I love research methods and statistics. And I would enjoy helping students to come up with their own research paradigm, their hypothesis, their own instrument, their own method, using a method that is APA certified, whether it's doing a survey, whether it's doing descriptive research, whether it's doing correlational research, or whether it's doing experimental design research. Currently, I normally teach research methods, lab, the lecture, and statistics. And of course, one of my favorite courses to teach is Intro to Psychology. And so factors that have driven me to apply for this advertisement, for this position, is all of the above. And in particularly, I have a passion for teaching, and your institution is known for an institution of teaching. And I really have a passion for teaching, as you can tell. It's been demonstrated by my teaching awards, by letters of recommendation from students, letters of accommodation from students, acknowledgments from students. And so these are the factors that have caused me to pivot and to look and to constantly look for openings or positions that are at Clayton State University. Your institution has grown drastically fast over the last 5 or even 7 years. The department has grown, and I would like to be a part of that, to be honest with you. And so these are the reasons why I feel that I would be an increment part, not just a passive part, but I would be a major player because I have a passionate desire to become a part of your institution. The second question asks, given my characteristics and qualifications experience, how do I feel that I would be a good fit for the institution and for the university and for the department? Perhaps after viewing your mission statement and the mission statement of the university, and knowing the culture and understanding the culture, I have come across several of your students, several of your graduates at a conference. One of your graduates went to our graduate program when I was teaching at Alabama A&M. I was very impressed with that student. So I have come across several of your students in the past, I think, for 3 years, in particular at the student that attended Alabama A&M, their graduate program in counseling, and then went on to get entered into Tennessee State program in the PhD program. I also taught at Tennessee State University. And so how do I feel that I would be a good fit in your department? After viewing your mission statement and knowing the types of students that you produce, and understanding my passion and my desire to assist students in this professoriate. I love advising students. When you can look at my qualification, I believe that I have the qualifications consistent with the expectations of this position. My teaching effectiveness, my teaching styles. My teaching style is when I come into the classroom, I don't act like a monologue faculty member, but I'm a dialogue faculty member. I do a lot of engaging of students and a lot of examples and application to the knowledge. And so I believe that I would be a good fit. Looking at my teaching styles, the effectiveness of my teaching, the teaching awards, the fact that I advise students in doing research and academically advise students in trying to do scholarly publications. I try to assist students in submitting their proposals and their projects to SEPA. And above all, I have a passion for teaching. And that is a main objective in your department, is effective teaching. And then, of course, which can be demonstrated by my awards in teaching, and my letters of accommodation and letters of recommendation from students, and appreciation from students. I would love to also not only help students to become more scholarly in conducting research, presenting at conferences, and even publishing. I would like to be a major faculty member that would be be a part of the Psychiatry Honor Society. I've done that in the past at Alabama A&M, but I'd love to be a part of that with your institution. And I believe and I know that assisting students and advising students is one of your main objectives, and working with the diverse population. That is the reasons why I think that I would be a good fit for your department. You could notice from my portfolio, I have worked over 29 years at institutions, at HBCUs and PWIs, and at PBIs also, at Tennessee State University. Even though it's an HBCU, I have worked at institutions helping students to pivot toward graduate school and to become better students, to improve their critical and analytical thinking, and to give them an example. I always use vignettes of my life, where I came from, and my aspirations and goals in life, and to try to assist them in developing some sort of objectives for their lives. And the third question says, what experience do you have working with diverse population? Well, that has been the majority of my years of teaching. As I indicated earlier, of 29, maybe 30 years of teaching, perhaps now, at predominantly HBCUs. Some of them I can mention. You've probably seen in my portfolio, my credentials. I'm at Morehouse, Spelman, Clark Atlanta, Tennessee State, Benedict College, Albany State University, Oakwood University, and then I've also taught at PWIs of a positive experience, Middle Tennessee State University, University of North Florida here recently, and also at the University of Colorado. Then the other question that you asked, what strategies do you employ to create an inclusive environment? I have conducted research and have a paper presented at SEPA on inclusion in the classroom, inclusion with respect to teaching and the teaching of experimental psychology. In the classroom, whether it's virtual or whether it's face-to-face environment or physical environment, I believe that you must give students real life experiences. So I tap onto their experiences. What have they done in the past to include them into the lecture? And any topic area, whether I'm teaching abnormal psychology, or whether I'm teaching intro to psychology, or whether I'm teaching research methods of social psychology, I try to pull from students' experiences and their experiential knowledge. I even try to include their own language, not using ebonics, of course, but using the terminologies that they would use, and trying to apply that to the classroom and to engage them. I also incorporate in the syllabus diversity in my instructions, diversity in my goals and objectives of the course, and for the mission statement. I'm inclusive in. It's nothing for me to come in and do a survey to find out students' background and how much do they know, or how well have they ascertained information, and to include their experiences in the classroom, and in particular try to get the students to use the collaboration of learning. And so these are some things that I do. In addition to that, I value students' opinions and their input. And so it would be nothing for me to have the students to present a topic in the classroom and also to present projects in the classroom and pulling from their background. The fourth question asked for me to comment on the institutional philosophies of teaching and in my innovative strategies in teaching. Of course, you know that I'm using my portfolio and my credentials that I have had published papers, co-author of a textbook, General Psychology with spotlights on diversity. I always use multimedia in the classroom, whether I'm teaching online or face-to-face or a hybrid class. There are ways, strategies of pulling students in. And number one, I do a lot of what's called inquiry learning. I maybe start off a question to begin my lecture. And of course, I always have prepared students for my lecture by having my PowerPoints, my objectives, the reading assignments in advance. Another thing I do that I use students in enhancing their learning is that project-based learning. Giving them a project, giving them discussion questions to do, having students to do group learning, project discussions. And then there's a jigsaw way of teaching. And what is that? Use peer cooperative learning, in which you have students to help other students. I do this a lot. And first and above all, I use the participatory format in learning and teaching. I emphasize students' understanding of the material, and I use thought-provoking discussion questions. And I always try to incorporate by engaging students, what is their background? What is the deficiency that students may be coming to the classroom with? And then, of course, I always try to use multi-measures of assessments, projects, group learning, group participation, research projects, testing, and maybe portfolios. And then there's a fifth question that asks me to comment on what courses that I would enjoy teaching. Of course, Intro to Psychology, that is my baby. That's a passion. I get my highs from that. I tell students I don't do drugs, but I do enjoy teaching, and that is a passion. Intro to Psychology. I enjoy teaching research methods. I've already touched upon that. Statistics, social psychology, abnormal psychology, and believe it or not, experimental, which goes along with that research paradigm that I have. My background is also teaching graduate level, and I like the fact that you have a graduate program in clinical and counseling, and I would like to become a part of that program, if possible. And so my desire, my goals, my aspiration is to come there hitting the ground running with a passion for learning for students, with a passion for teaching students, and a passion to be a facilitator of the learning process for students. This is my goals and my aspiration. I've taught online. I've taught hybrid courses. I've taught with Georgia View before, D2L, Canvas, and Blackboard have been of the systems that I've used. It says, please describe a way that you can modify the teaching, whether you're online or if you're face-to-face. Use active learning, active teaching. Active-based course is what I try to do. Engaging students, whether it's an online class, a face-to-face, or a hybrid class. Teaching is my passion, is my goal. But learning is the goal, to get the students to learn, and to learn critical and analytical thinking, and to learn how to write scholarly. Another question you asked, this position requires teaching courses, 5 courses. I have no problems with that. How many days are you able to teach? 4 days a week. I would be able to teach Monday through Thursday. Are there any other commitment that would inhibit me or restrict me from the activities on campus? No, they're not. I would come there to your department, to the psychology department, desiring to be an intimate part of the department. Not only the department, but to the university, to the college, to the community. My goals and aspiration is seriously to be a professor that students can reflect back upon. So Dr. Blanch-Payne was instrumental for me going forward in my academic pursuit. This is my goal. This is my aspiration. And I would come wanting to be an intimate part of the department, not just to come and teach and to leave, but to be engaged in the community at Clayton State University. I would welcome the opportunity to further this application process and would invite you to be able to feel free to contact me at any time to follow up on any points that I've made in this video questionnaire or application. If there's something that I did not cover thoroughly for you, you can feel free to call me. I even allow students to call me if they want to call me. I do not give them my personal phone number, but I do give them what's called a Google phone number, and I tell them, feel free to call me. But I have a disclaimer: don't call me after 8 o'clock, and perhaps don't call me on the weekends if you don't have to. But I love the engaging students. I love this thing called the professoriate. I enjoy teaching. I would come there, as I indicated before, hitting the ground running, wanting to do my part, and going beyond, going more than 100%, going beyond the call of duty. Feel free to call, to send an inquiry to the institutions that I worked at. Morehouse College, the chairman of the department, Dr. Murray, he could give you a recommendation for me. Clark Atlanta, Dr. Tim Moore, the department chair of psychology there. Spelman College. Also, Alabama A&M, Dr. Bennett is the program coordinator of psychology there. Feel free to contact these institutions for other inquiries about my teaching strategies, my desire to help assist students, and particularly my desire to help students to conduct research and to present at conferences and to publish. Thank you so much. I appreciate this opportunity and hope that we can engage each other at a later date. Thank you.